All right, goalies, Tanner Gillette here with Goal in the Net. Just gonna go through for the parents new to goaltending, a little bit about the equipment required, and then we're just gonna get dressed and show you some things to be aware of if you're new to goaltending in the process of getting dressed and the equipment involved. So to start, I got my undergear on, which is something tight, again, open for whatever you like. There's a number of different brands and companies that sell good stuff. So find something that you like that's gonna be kind of moisture wicking and can absorb some of that. From there, I get into the knee pads. Knee pads are extremely important. So lots of young goalies aren't wearing knee pads, which can be problematic because when we look at our pads, if we have a wide flare or if something opens, we're gonna get exposed to the knee because there's nothing there, which I'll show you. So make sure you find some knee pads. Again, there's some bulkier ones, there's some with less protection. I personally stick to Vaughn for all my gear. It seems to work. I don't like my knee pads quite as bulky. I find most of my knee shots come from like tips or deflections or moving across, not directly on. Once you get your butterfly kind of perfected, it's rare, but it does happen. So make sure we don't skip the knee pads. You can see I have a girdle, so I actually attach these and it holds them up. Lots of goalies have issues with them staying up, so there's different strapping mechanisms. I use sock tape around the bottom here, but also the girdle keeps it up. Some goalies will wear more of the traditional player socks that go over, cover it. You can do some taping around that. They'll have a girdle on the socks. I just attach my girdle right to the knee pad itself. From there, you got your cup. Please make sure that you get a goalie specific cup. They're a lot different than the player cups. A lot more protection, a lot more padding, which for obvious reasons is gonna be important. So from there, we got knee pads, we got our jock, we got our undergear, go to our pants. Again, if you're starting out new, player pants will work for just really entry-level novice goalies, but these I'll show you here right away. These are pro stock pants, so they're custom Vaughn pants, but they have extra the thigh pads. So these are completely custom fitted to my legs. This is Sergei Bobrovsky's pants, exactly the ones he wears. I'll have 2 of these just to provide extra cushion, and notice there's some room in here. So when we get to the chest protector, lots of goalies will either have that out or tucked. I prefer mine tucked in. And then with that, you'll see the pants also have suspenders. So some goalies will put them up over here. Some goalies don't wear them. I actually put mine up over top of my chest protector, and you can see, I think it was Matt Murray got Vaughn to create these straps that come over the shoulder piece to keep the suspenders in place. So those are the pants. There's goalie specific pants, player pants, obviously again, more padding, more protection. Notice how I don't cinch this up super tight. You want to have some movement in there. You want to have some expansion. So when pucks hit, it's going to be able to absorb more of those pucks. It's not just going to hit and fire out versus if it's really tight. So goalie pants. Next, we'll get into our skates. Again, there's lots of different skates you can get. These are goalie specific skates. These ones are made by True. They're custom to my foot, so they are snug to get on, but once they are on, they fit perfectly. I know Bauer's got some new cool skates. They just do a couple buckles and the heel actually moves. Good for some RVH stuff, some nice stuff, but for, again, entry-level young goalies, just find a skate that fits you properly. Make sure you're at a local sports store and make sure the person knows what they're talking about. You won't believe the amount of times that goalies buy sticks, pads, things that are the wrong size. So make sure you're doing your research, make sure you know what you're getting. And again, you're trying to get a couple years out of your gear. So make sure it fits for the current, but also again, goaltending is expensive. There's a lot of piece of equipment that you want to, get a year, maybe a year and a half out of before you have to either sell them or donate them or pass them on. So just again, be aware of what you're buying, but skates for me go on next. From there, we got our skates on. So we went knee pads, our can, our pants, our skates, the fun part, the pads. So it's easier now with the way the gear is, but to make sure these are on the right leg, we want our outer bar on the outside. As you can see, this is where we're going to be falling into our butterfly. This side, not so much. So make sure this pad is not on our left leg, right leg. It used to be more confusing with the pad, but the technology has kind of made this a little bit more clear. Today I'll be running my SLR4s, and I'm actually going to use the bungee system. So bungee system is great for the kids. There's a couple different toe tie options, which we have a different video for that. But be aware of the differences. They're great for kids. Most elite goalies, when you get to a higher level, you usually blow through these. So I think they have some different variations of them. But for simplicity, I'm just going to do the bungees today. Each pad, depending on what brand you're in, it's going to have a different strapping system. So just make sure they usually line up. Usually pretty clear. Sometimes they can be confusing because there's more Velcro in today's pad. Sometimes there's external ones. So I'll show you on my other pad here before I put it on. So here you can see there's just the the outer one, and then there's a calf one. Sometimes these will come up over here, but this pad's fully custom, so the strapping is a little bit different. And then I do have an internal one that goes around my calf. Call this the Professor strap. I think Ben Scrivens was the one that designed that with Vaughn. And then I have the classic knee buckle because I like the look of it, but just make sure your straps are lining up. You will find some more potentially in here in the leg channel, but just make sure your straps are lining up where they're supposed to. In terms of how tight you're supposed to do them, personal preference, but you don't want to you want to make sure that if you have an older pad with lots of straps that you're not doing the buckle straps, that you're not doing these up too tight. So what you want is, depending how you like your pad when you get older, the strapping will change how the pad reacts to your leg. So for example, if we had this strap, you'll see lots of NHL goalies have this strap come across here. That's gonna give you more pad control. So I don't have a location for that. Mine comes down, which makes the pad a little bit looser. It's gonna rotate easier, but the strapping is important for how the pad is gonna react on your leg. So goalies that are trying to work on their butterfly and perfecting getting their pads completely flat, make sure those straps are loose so that the pad can turn on the leg. If it's too tight, it's just gonna be stuck to the leg, and then they won't be able to allow the pad to rotate and fall on there. So just be aware of the strapping. Don't get nervous by it. Just put it on and honestly play around with it. See how it looks on the goalie's leg. If there's questions, reach out to us. Happy to answer, or send us a video or a picture. Does this look right? Because again, with the different technologies in the pad, older pads still are in existence. Newer pads, the strapping has changed actually quite a bit to shed weight, and then obviously performance reasons as well. If you look at your pad, some straps are removable, some you just use, some are obsolete, some feel good, some don't. But just look at your pad, understand what your pad is giving you, and then go from there. From there, we got our pads on. Next, it's gonna be the neck guard. So now there's a couple different options. I prefer, this is the one I've worn for years, the Vaughn. Lots of padding. I just got it blacked out. You can get different colors. You can get red, blue, white writing. Good neck guard. Neck guard goes on. Next is going to be the chest protector. So I am currently in the V9. Again, as I don't play anymore, I don't need to get all brand new gear each time. Like this chest protector. I struggled with different brands. Lots of the arms got bulkier. I think they're pretty good now in terms of, I liked my arms smaller. I like to be able to move my arms. And I like the body to be a little bit bigger. So again, this is custom ordered to me, but typically I'd go with the large body, and then I would have the arms shorter just so they don't come down quite as far. So put this on. Again, there's gonna be different strapping systems on the back of these. So just look at it. You can adjust a lot of the stuff in it. It'll fit differently. All right, start with that, just there. You can tell that chest protector can go outside or go inside. Now, once you get it in, everything's relatively snug. It takes some moving around, adjusting, and then once it's in there good, do the arm pieces. So you can see here, this is an extra piece of padding. Sometimes in different movements you get exposed, but for the most part we want to be square. So from there you can see I like my wrists a little bit. I like to have more movement so my gloves can move easier. So just making sure that, find what works for you. I like the shape of the body, but the arms are a little bit looser so I can move them around. All personal preference, whatever you're looking for. From there, on this chest protector, I do have these are almost fight straps. So typically what I'll do, just to keep this one down, loop this through the pants. There's a little loop, and then it just attaches back up to itself from there. So it just keeps it snug. From there, suspenders can come up over. Always fun trying to jig it around the equipment, get it over the back, get it flat. So there you can see the straps over the top that will cover, keep that in place. The back, you can see it tied down. You can adjust it however you want. Last piece, try not to take the mic off again. Perfect. Not perfect. There we go. Blooper. Attach there. Jersey's on. Last thing would be your helmet, and then your gloves and your stick. And that is a quick tutorial how to get dressed, the strapping, everything's put together.